for footy in the West. The first quarter in the books, and the Saints lead it by 6 points. A terrific start by Euro. And they've been great starters so far this season. The only opening quarter of the year they dropped their very first one against the Pies back in opening round. Tom Hawkins, Jason Dunstall. That's 10 first quarter wins in a row for the Saints.
It's a nice record to have. It means you're putting yourself in position to win games. Now, it's only translated into 5 wins, but I'd much rather be leading than chasing at quarter time, Tommy.
Yeah, especially when you're away. But the execution of what their game plan is, so win the ball at the source, get it forward, and if you get the opportunity to control the game by marks, try and do that. So I like what I've seen. Also pressured really well around the source.
Will Schofield, what have you seen at ground level?
Well, a couple of animated coaches down here, boys. Ross Lyon was up and about as he came straight down to the players, got them all in before, didn't go to their lines, and then Justin Longmuir did the opposite, let the line coaches speak, and then really got into the boys just behind me right now. But one of the best in the business, well, at least a very much a rising star in media, Tom Hawkins, identified this pre-game. Max Hall and what he's been able to do in the middle of the ground with No Nazai, Wanganeen Miller. He's kicked 2 goals, had 6 disposals, leads all comers on the ground for 3 clearances. He's had a huge impact on this game, and we knew this coming in, but could he do it again? Well, he has. He's just been outstanding. 3 score involvements. A couple of these goals are superstar goals too. So great pick out by you, Hawk, and 55 ranking points on the day. He's one of the most influential players on the ground right now.
Yeah, and he's having a heck of a season. This is a real breakout season for Max Hall. He's elevated his game. He's going to be around for a long time and a big part of whatever St Kilda get into.
Yeah, and it also shows the opportunity that star players, even though he is the best player in their side, Wanganeen Miller, also arguably one of the best players in the competition, it also just gives younger players or maybe less experienced players a bit more exposure to part of the ground that they don't always get. So 10 to 20 centre bounces last week, which was a high for him throughout the year. We're just starting to see what he can do. So skillful, a player that looks like he wants the moments, and they're really hard to find.
We get a bit of a different mix in the middle as they continue to wrestle down on the goal line. Marshall goes into the ruck against Jackson, and it's the same result. Saints get it out of the middle as we start this second quarter. They're up in Euro doing battle as Bradley Hill. It's a back to Burns, steadies, and into Caminiti, who had it in the hands. He's disappointed he couldn't finish it off and hold it. As Erasmus out at defensive 50. Howard was there. Tracy was appealing for the free and was rewarded.
Yeah, that one probably there. Dougal just free kick against, but was probably a little bit over aggressive.
She's a big miss by Anthony Caminiti, wasn't it? Beautiful kick as a forward. That's all you can ask for.
Tracy just up and under, looking for the tall targets. Amos there off hands Johnson. And Windhager wraps him up.
Freo backline not happy with the no switch there by Josh Tracy. They were out on the other side, and a fair bit of feedback given by the backs to the forwards.
Spotted Scoey. Would have given a fair bit of feedback in his time as well, I reckon. Will Schofield is Murphy Red's handball coughed up. Burns under some pressure. Garcia just got past the tackle of Brayshaw. And tall again. Windhager on the boot. Drills it forward. Sharman took it nicely. O'Connell now into some space. And building up here, the Saints. Mason Wood's been busy early. Away to Sinclair. They go inside 50 again. Another chance for Caminiti. Wrestling with McDonald and a holding free kick. Going the Dockers way.
Could have gone either way that way.
Yeah, they both looked at the umpire, hoping it was going their way. McDonald and Caminiti.
And McDonald, it's half back. Tracy threw an arm at it to bring it to ground, then followed up with a tackle. Get back involved again. Up at half back, Tracy. And then provides the shepherd for Brendan Cox. Voss, strong hands. Crowd just rise whenever he gets near the footy. Colt status early in his career at Freo as O'Driscoll released into the pocket, but Silvani drops back to intercept nicely. Awkward pass for Burns to hang on to, but was up to it. Enough to go in short for Flanders. Going to 100 for Sam Flanders this evening. 89 of those at the Gold Coast Suns. He just goes up and under. Now Sharman to fly. McDonald's, Johnson, Brennan Cox. Now Clark. A couple of steps, he sends it in long. Lots of numbers back, and Howard with a great defensive mark. Playing on a bit of trouble. A fumble from Sinclair. Back to Flanders. Seeing all sorts back there on the last line. Howard just got past Brayshaw. Living a little dangerously. Euro. Saints get it out to Shum.
He navigated it well in the end, Dougal Howard. Probably wasn't the hair pass he was looking to receive.
Ball. I suppose another 8 couple of goals to his name in that first quarter. Driving kick towards Marshall. Two Dockers are up. Allowed Filippo just to wait down. Rove it brilliantly. Send it in towards Wood. Is there some holding going on? Bradley Hill out the back. It just rolled too far away from him. There's Caleb Sarong watching on. Alex Pearce as well, and Sean Darcy. 3 players they'd love to have out there all up tonight.
Sean, the only one I see not with a notepad.
He's a ruckman.
Chapman. That was implied, I think, Scully, as the kick goes up to half forward. Now Amos, and a whistle. A blocking free will go the Saints way.
Plenty happening in that matchup. Voss and Wilkie. Wilkie doesn't particularly want the matchup, but Voss is basically forcing their hand. He just continues to go to it.
It's going to be a great season, Cal Wilkie. That's why opposition teams have to put some work into him. Yeah, racking up the numbers.
It's a great season every year, perhaps. That's the only thing about Cal Wilkie.
Very true. He's setting some big numbers this year for marks in particular. Cal Wilkie averaging 11 a game. Career high 23 disposals.
Yeah, Voss is almost the perfect matchup. He did the job on Sicily a couple of weeks ago when Freo played Hawthorn. So knows the role well.
Maxwell brought his own footy. Bouncing ball. O'Brien. Warner. Trying to exit. Defensive 50. Put it into the path of Frederick. Fleet of foot. So knock it away from Banfield. Erasmus just knocks him away, but Wilson wins the footy, feeds it forward. Filippo can steady, fire, and drill the goal.
Gee, that's a good finish. A really good finish. Defensive pressure creates an opportunity. It needed clean hands from Darcy Wilson. He picked it up quickly, cleanly, fired the hand pass out to Filippo, and then he's good enough off a couple of steps. You can see here just the work being done to get there and put pressure on defensively. The work initially from Banfield was very good, and then that pick up there, excellent from Wilson, and that's a quality finish. Giving them something to think about, the Saints.
A couple of goals last week from Mateus Filippo. And out of the centre, the Saints are doing it well. Jackson this time to hit out. Inhager sweating on Bolton. Craig got a hand pass clear, but only as far as O'Driscoll. Jackson. Reed. Now Bolton. He can take it and go if it sits for him. Inside 50. Beautiful pass for Amos.
It's a good kick in the end. Shea Bolton wasn't a great mark. I think he was expecting some contact coming in. It didn't look great, but he had enough time and space to gather up and then deliver to the leading Amos.
One's right, thank you.
Excellent service from Shea Bolton. 6 inside 50s last week. Spotted up Jai Amos. We'll go with the regulation drop punt. Given his outside 50. And it's the same result with a stunning strike from beyond the arc.
We see here Bolton get it on the outside. It's great connection, drops the mark, but just a miss it ahead of the football, just identifying the space. Tracy and Voss staying ahead of the football, just allowing him to work in isolation. great speed, great timing to get out and get at the footy, and a beautiful finish.
Kicked multiple goals in 8 of his last 9 games. James continue to jostle for position down there. Out of the centre, Jackson handled it straight into the back. Spills back in underneath. Jackson down. Erasmus cleared a path. To Brayshaw. Wilson did well. Extracted it to Henry. Back to Wilson. Freo's pressure arriving. Let Brayshaw to pinch it. Ryan, Erasmus. Back for McVee. Try to work the numbers. Murphy Reid showing the footy. Casually steps inside. So much composure for someone in just his second season.
Yeah, he makes it look easy, perhaps.
Brayshaw, McVee. Now they generate that run. Voss was there. Wilkie the spoil. How an important touch. Carroll barreled. And they caused the turnover doubly. Back to Erasmus, who was at his feet. Frederick just waiting out wide and trying to pull the trigger eventually. They blasted 2 on. Some frustrations from the locals watching on in the pocket.
They're not a great decision. That's probably the one you just want to hook back into a corridor, kick it into a dangerous position and back your teammates to understand that's what needs to be done.
Looking down the line. Craig, Henry, as far as Ryan. Hincox just got a handball away. Little fins and held onto the arm. Great tackle from Sharman. He did well to get a boot on it. Sent forward. Henry dropped it. Murphy Reid. Good tackle from Henry. Got a ball up.
He needed to take that. They had one ahead. Henry takes that, gets back off the mark. We've got a free number inside forward 50. An opportunity to score.
So you're working the laptop and the notepad. The side makes some adjustments. Sherry.
Gee, that kick was good. Right in front of me here, boys. There was about 3 numbers right in front of Murphy Reid for a second-year player. It's about as good as it gets.
Terrific vision from the youngster. Tracy and Howard. Dudley tried to knock it to Frederick. He found the footy back himself. Open forward line. He's got Amos. Silvani infringed.
He's just getting Silvani on the lead. He's breaking away a little bit too quick on the lead. In the end, he was playing catch-up. Silvani jumped into him to spoil and it's been pinged for the top of the arms.
Arm interference.
Yeah, you can't argue with that. He pulls the left arm down.
Averaging a career high 2.2 goals a game this season. John Amos got a couple early already. A slow start to the year. He's really built into his work. Has Deadeye John.
Another lovely finish by a miss there, as we'll hopefully get a look at the free kick again from behind the goals, because it shows it really well.
Harvey doesn't replay. Tom, see, really started with Murphy Reid. Back in defence, just started to find a way through.
Yeah, it did. It was a beautiful find from Murphy, just to be able to get the ball in the hands and maintain possession, which gives Freo a bit of a look at it from here. But the separation that Amos gets early, so from the contact that he puts on Silvani, that gives him that metre or two, then all of a sudden Silvani's desperately trying to get back into the contest and gives a free kick away.
Taken by Jackson. Physicality out of the middle. Up towards Voss. Punched by Silvani. Filippo to Stocker. Short kick out wide. Wilson was pushed into it by Clark. Actually to his advantage in the end. Bradley line was looming. Saints can steady up the line. They turn it over. With the intercept to Brendan Cox. On to a 1-point lead. Euro.
This is what they need to do here, Freo. Explore
Dangerous
different
ball.
parts of the ground.
Yeah, Wagner had to elevate to try and take it. Bradley Hill, Filippo, they get the turnover to the Saints. Filippo can look long, And from the 50 to the square, Sharman knocked it down as the Docker defenders went tumbling, and then Mason Wood volley misses. In for McVee.
High on!
And again, and it's tough again for Wagner. And Warner is over the line.
Tom, boot. Keep that meter, thank you.
Intriguing battle on a Friday night. Lions come with a plan against his former side. Anfield will get it on the boot. Line is there, opposed to Wood. Looked in the pocket, did well to keep it in play. Philippo bumped as he got the kick away. Reid, quick hands. Warner, Johnson. High pass, Reid went for Clark and some speed off halfback. The pressure came from the side. Sherry to Murphy Reid. The build-up is brilliant. Voss with strength. Just threw Wilkie out of the way, picked up the footy and rolled it home. The run from Fremantle, the aggression from Voss, and Waliup take the lead as we check the Harvey Norman replay.
Again, great body work from Voss. It's a matchup that they're having some real success with. So he's following him wherever he goes, testing him in all parts of the ground, tries to come up. Wilkie wants that front position. He wants to play deep, so he's got the game in front of him. But Voss has got the physicality right there to be able to get into his chest, into his opponent's chest, and push and hold that space, allow the ball to bounce, and he goes straight back at Cal Wilkie and just talks about the incident. I'm liking this. He's a big, strong, aggressive player. He's playing from behind, so he's always there, putting pressure on the back shoulder.
Mason Cox against DeConey now in the ruck. Crane, O'Driscoll went at it. Johnson, Bolton. Leo just putting the foot down. As they go inside 50, Tracy there, try to knock it to the advantage of Sherry. He's able to roll back onto it now. Wagner being forced backwards. Reid, Wagner, touched off the boot. Doubly trying to claim a mark. Crowd didn't realise it was touched. It'll be a ball up.
He becomes so critical to the Dockers, Paddy Voss. If he can play on the best intercepting defender every week, that is one heck of a role to have down pat.
Whilst getting some impact on the scoreboard, he's already got 2 in the game. Voss, this ball tumbling out wide. Jordan Clark slipped the tackle from 2 Saints. And that handle again forward. Gets some run going for Waliup. Dockers with Tracy. Voss was on the charge. Into the pocket. He's got it again.
A great understanding here from Fremantle, knowing that this guy is on fire. Why not feed him? Yes, he's got a roll and maybe had Howard at the time, but just lost Wilkie in the traffic, trailing him in behind, expecting that, maybe he out of bounds on the full.
I want to see the celebration. If he kicks it, he might go spare here.
Patrick Voss, 5 goals last week at the G. Outside of the boot. It goes right across the face, up and under, and he shares it with Wilkie. And a 50-metre penalty. So no one standing on the mark. Mason Cox was trying to roll back.
He was there. He got called to stand, and he just blanked that out and started to go back and kick behind play.
Just relieves the pressure in the Saints' defence because they can get some territory. Swing up to half forward. Wood. And he lost to one in the turn. Mason Wood drives it in. Marshall off hands. Ryan back there. Warner can't rush it through. That should be deliberate and will be. Had time and space to get rid of it. Had an opportunity. Didn't take it. The correct call, even though the Freo fans don't like it. It'll be a certain goal to the Saints.
Yeah, well called, Paps, and really smart by Philippou just to sit off them.
Some of them are contentious. That one looked pretty straightforward. Warner gets a pat on the head. Freo fans unhappy. The goal goes to the Saints. They lead it by 2 points. And Filippo's got 2 goals for the match. There's a few things that they look at in this scenario. Within the 9. But did you have time and space to get rid of it? Did you have an option? And right there he did.
Well, he had an option, but what's pressure if there's a player within 2 metres of him?
Yeah.
I think he's a bit stiff, personally. Because he gets the ball, he's only a couple of metres out, and he's got Filippo in his face.
I think what they're looking for there is could he have disposed of it and kept it in play and kicked it away?
It could have, but I think the rule says if you're under pressure. Anyway, take it when you get it. They had a little bit of a joke afterwards. Maybe a lucky one.
There was one right on the borderline last night of that 9-metre rule.
Yeah, that was a real tough one perhaps last night.
That one, because he had time to try and assess an option. That's why he got pinged in that situation. Kick goes back inside 50. Banfield takes a nice mark. He's back home. Son of the Eagles legend in Drew. Had his debut last week. Kicked a goal. Out wide to the wing. Filippo. Having an impact. Couple of goals to his name. Up the line. Caminiti over the top. Couldn't take it. Burns is there. And that one is a throw call. So possession back to the Dockers.
Yeah, he couldn't win there. If it's a handball, it's a lasso rule. If it's not a handball, you're throwing it.
Wagner. The line ball punched away by Stocker. Lands with Johnson. Did well get the hands clear. Reed down there. All searching for a high tackle, but it'll be a ball.
Yeah, really good tackle from Reed. Didn't go high at all, even though Max Hall was looking for it. Wrapped him up beautifully.
Coney too strong in the ruck. Scores to O'Driscoll. Was wrapped up. Up the line. And soon will come into effect.
Up the disposal, stand! Stand. Fire.
Carroll. Roll onto that left boot. Sent it high inside 50. Marshall there. Mason Cox got back just to sit in the hole. Chapman. Cox. Cross to McVee. Back to Ryan. Now Warner. Up to Erasmus. The pressure arriving. And forced away. Whether a ball up or a boundary throw in. Free kick goes the Dockers' way.
Thinks he got a hand on it, fist on it.
Outside. Move it on. Play on. Play on.
Ryan. For Warner.
Outside 5. Yeah. Outside 5. Good. Play on.
Saints by 2.
Good.
Warner up the line. Mason Cox. Pre-season pickup. And the off-season by Wallila. And he's had extra cover. Sean Darcy out with injury right now. Silvani takes the intercept. And tough to move the foot in the last couple of minutes for both teams.
Outside 5. Outside 5.
Filippo for Flanders.
He's had 4 ring set marks. Jack Silvani. It's a good effort down back out of his 7 possessions.
Stand. Play on.
In the corridor for Bradley Hill. Loves to run and carry. Best and fairest winner at the Dockers. And there's time there. Find it to Silvani. 5 minutes remaining. A real arm wrestle. Good kick. To find Hall, who'll turn and share it with Sinclair. Again, racking up plenty of footy. goes into the hot spot. Mason Woods in front of big contested mark.
This is a part of their game that they've done really well tonight. St Kilda have composed and been patient going forward, and when they've pulled the trigger on going inside their forward 50, they've relied on Wood and Caminiti to provide contest, and more often than not they've marked it. Wood's taken a couple of contested marks in this part of the ground, so hopefully he can finish.
3 goals in the VFL last week, dropping back 28 disposals to go along with it. Back into the side and having an impact, extending the Saints lead out again.
Well, it's another contested mark, and both times he's taken those contested marks and kicked goals. It's been McVie, the matchup. So he has an advantage in the air. There's no doubt about that. He can play like a key position player at times. He's a very good size, and McVie's giving away considerable size. You see a lot of the attention is focused elsewhere. They're probably thinking the kick's going to the coning, but in the end, McVie's just not tall enough to spoil at the point where Mason Wood's marking the ball. Chapman tries to come over the top as well, and he can't get there in time.
Well, it's interesting. Chapman at 193 is sitting on De Koning, so maybe they're challenging them with their matchups, the way they're flicking players through the half-forward part of the ground.
Jackson elevates in the middle. Johnson tried to fair forward to Bolton, who went to the turf. He accentuated the contact as the Saints ran past. Frederick goes inside 50. Amos almost. And Howard running it straight over the line. Concede out for a boundary throw. Koning and Bolton in the middle there is interesting. We're throwing inside 50 for Wallula. Jackson. Get out. Spills away to Brayshaw, who retreats back to McVie.
Outside, Mason. Thank you.
And find a target. He wants to set it up for Jackson in the air, dropping down. Switkowski followed in, but misses on the snap. In fact, misses everything. He's buried the ball.
Sam, thank you.
Tough ask for Luke Jackson, 1 against 2, but they just get drawn to kicking it to him because they're so used to him doing miraculous things. Probably wasn't the right option on that occasion.
Keep it on. Play on. Play on the
Ross
15.
is not 15 for Wilkie. He's put under all sorts of pressure. And Voss bearing down. Did want to get a kick away, but intercepted by Erasmus. He looks into the pocket. Tracy! Put on a platter for him. And amongst a couple of Saints defenders.
Yeah, that's a beautiful kick because it doesn't matter if there's someone sitting in the hole. If you put it there at the height that he can have a run and jump at it, he's going to mark the ball. I think it's Flanders standing in the hole. He's got no chance of stopping that. Beautiful kick.
Number 1 for contested marks in the competition, Josh Tracy. This one close to the goal. He's right into it. It was tight, but away for behind.
Is it just me, Jace, or do you get nervous when Dougal Howard gets the ball that deep inside?
And when he turns around and decides to change direction and do things, yeah, some players have got licence to do that with the footy, some don't.
Carroll, Flanders, Casey put in a good chase. He's forced the kick a little wider and a little shallower than was intended. Frederick got involved. Back to McDonald. Chips it up. Erasmus. Well done, O'Connell. Put his body on the line. And Wilkie fends off and steps back over the line. A big boundary throw.
It can be a pretty nervous place in the back 50, Tom and Jason. They didn't spend a lot of time back there in their careers. You get the footy in your hands back there, it's just a little bit more daunting sometimes.
I hear you, Scully. I think I would have been long to a contest sort of guy. Not taking on his risks.
Thank you.
I forgot which way we were going one year and ended up in the back line, but I was quickly down there. That's the only time I spent down there.
Marshall a hit out. Jackson does the roving. Johnson. Bolton immediately skip forward. And under some pressure, he goes towards Voss again. Had strength on Wilkie. It's off hands and over. crowd in Friday night footy. 50,000 plus expected for this clash. Making plenty of noise. Saints have come to play. Marshall lost it. Brayshaw, Wagner, Johnson. Tracy was there. Flanders. Great mark getting back into space of the big forward.
Moving on. Play on.
Just over a minute remaining in this half. Jackson to the sky.
Just got caught under it there, Roll Marshall. Jackson was just able to get a little bit of contact through the knee and take the contested mark.
Go. Reset. You can't run through. Stand there.
Line running forward of Jackson to there. Had to go back. Jackson will send it into the pocket. Wants Voss. Wilkie in front. A bit of push. Voss kept his feet. Won the footy back to Johnson. Before he hit the ground. Brayshaw. Erasmus. Frederick opens it up. Left foot snap. Made good purchase. And worked it through. What a finish from Freddie.
That is unbelievable, the way that he was able to find time and space in a pressured situation, because St Kilda, although they lost the ball back, they were able to get in their face. The pressure here was just come forward at all costs, and Frederick was able to find a little gap, a bit of pressure coming from Flanders, but that's hard to do, to be able to identify that is coming your way. He clearly wanted to kick the ball a little bit high, which means you have to hit it at a different part of the ball, but that's a lovely finish. Deep in the second quarter.
A good contest the first half. They traded punches.
Back to a 1-point game. Saints out of the middle. Ball and Flanders. Warner came up to meet it, kept it in front. Johnson. And back to the outside and found Erasmus. Up to half forward, but a poor kick. Intercepted by Howard. Should see away the danger to the half. Sinclair. And Wilson. And an intriguing matchup on a Friday night in the West. It was a 6-point lead to Euro Saints at quarter time. They lead it by 1 point at the half. Patrick Voss has been involved in plenty of it, still with plenty to say. But a great arm wrestle through the first 2 quarters.
And they were able to get back on top there. Fremantle dominated time in forward half that quarter and able to get on top in the inside 50 count. So weren't able to make the most of it, but certainly turned their fortunes around. They were able to score from stoppage, still kick the couple from intercept as well. So they would be happy that they've arm wrestled this back into pretty much an even contest at half time.
Well, the clearance is going their way, 12-6 in that second term, and that was able to give them a little bit of territory, allow them to apply some pressure.
Let's get down to Will Schofield, who's with Bradley Hill.
Yeah, I am. Hilly, good start. How did you see that?
Yeah, no, it was a good start. I thought that second quarter, last 10 minutes, they sort of got on top of us. Winning contest, we sort of couldn't halve it. So, yeah, a little bit disappointed letting them back into the game in that second half of that second quarter. But, yeah, it's been a good half so far.
You played under Ross Lyon for a long time, mate. What was he saying at quarter time? He was pretty animated.
He sort of said get back to, our basics. Around stoppage, I sort of beating us a little bit, getting a bit through the corridor. So, we're sort of managing that, getting that under control.
All right, good luck for the second half.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Brad Hill there from the Saints as they lead it by 1 point at half-time. Back to have a look at the action in a second, but tomorrow, well, some big games of footy tomorrow afternoon up against each other as well, but this one looks like an absolute beauty. Geelong and Sydney, a top 4 clash with a fair save where they finish towards September on a Super Saturday on Fox.
All right, folks, there we go. Hey, Paul, Addy, what's happening? Half-time, of course, here at Optus Stadium. It's the Saints. They're on top. Addy G, oh my gosh, 7-3-45. The Saints lead. Fremantle 7-2-44 Tell you what, one good thing about this game, it's straight kicking. They're kicking accurate. Probably for Freo's perspective in that quarter, probably a little bit disappointing. They weren't in front by a couple of goals. They did seem to be the attacking side in the second term. It did seem to be the bit better time. St Kilda, they took their opportunities when they had their chance. And they kicked a goal. Of course, that deliberate rush behind resulted in St Kilda goal. Probably got them back up. But look, they're doing a pretty good job. Freo, the prancing pony, he's playing a cracking game. Good to see. And, of course, they're doing well, of course, with Sarong, their mid-gun, out of the team, Freo. And, of course, Alex Pearce, the captain, he's out. So Fremantle holding up well. But I tell you what, we are in for a ring-a-ding-ding second half. I think it's who is going to take the opportunities when presented will win this game. It's hard to choose who's going to win this game. It's pretty much goal for goal. It's a cracking game. The fans are loving it. Addy G, I don't know whether you're at the game. It would have been a good game to be at. The stands looked pretty full there at Optus Stadium, but it's an absolute belter of a game there this evening. Hey, let's have a little bit of a look before the commentators come back. Just for Addy G. There we go. Fremantle. Well, they're a point behind, so they still remain second on the ladder. My gosh. You know what happens? If they win, they go top of the table, and there's a good chance they could remain top with St Kilda, with Sydney Swans playing Geelong, where I think Geelong might win that game. Of course, for the Saints fans, if you win, you are up there. You'll move up the ladder, and you'll be up in 8th. That is the live ladder, and of course, just the other game being played at the moment, Richmond and Essendon, the two 17th and 18th team. Tell you what, that's a pretty good game happening over there at the moment at the MCG. Dream time at the G. Let me just have a quick look at the scores. I think it's three-quarter time over there. Three-quarter time over there, and it's Richmond leading 8-10-58 to the Essendon Bombers, 6-10-46. That's the three-quarter time scores around the grounds. And if you are interested, of course, folks, in the NRL, well, Canterbury Bulldogs just went ahead of Melbourne Storm 24-20. 5.5 minutes left to play over there. There we go. That is a wrap-up of Around the Grounds. But here we go. Let's have a look at the goal scorers in this match so far up until half-time. DJI Miss was playing a good game too, putting some good lead-ups there. Look, I think just late in that quarter there, I think Fremantle, they didn't quite deliver the ball into their forwards quite well. But that being said, Fremantle are playing a pretty good game there, boys. And if they continue on this way, I probably would expect Freo to actually get up over the line here, but we'll see what the Saints have got to say about that coming out into the second half. There we go. 3 goals for DJI Miss for the Fremantle Dockers. For the Prancing Pony, he's kicked 2. That's Paddy Voss. Josh Tracy's got 1. Frederick with a ring-a-ding-ding left foot snap, he's got 1. That is your Freo goal scorers. For your Saints goal scorers, of course, we haven't got many goal scorers out there at the moment, but Mason Wood, he's got 2, along with Polopo and Maxi Hall. 3 multiples there for the Saints, and of course the other single to Liam Henry. There we go, just the 4 goal scorers there for the Sainters. All right, we'll come back to this in a moment. Let's just head back to the commentators for a second for a little bit of their analysis on the opening half.
Beautiful finish from outside 50. Sorry, just inside forward 50. Something that they probably weren't able to capitalise on. We talked about it early in the coverage, but that's a lovely finish from Filippo. They were dominant around stoppage early in the game. Freo wrestled back that momentum in that part of the ground, but all signs have been pretty good. They're playing their game. They got a little bit caught out late in that second quarter when Freo were able to control the game via possession, but they're well and truly in it.
Dockers efficient when they were going forward. Tracy looks a terrific target, although he's only got the 1 goal. Voss doing a great job on Wilkie, and Jai Amos has maximum bang for buck. He's only had the 5 possessions, but he's kicked 3 straight. matched up with Silvani most of the time. It's just getting him a lead. I mean, Silvani's taken some great intercept marks and been very good rebounding as well, but Jai Amos continues to present, and he's got the kicking boot on today. One around the corner, a couple of set shots. That one from 50 was a beautiful kick, and he just looks like he's going to be involved in the play every time it comes in his direction. So he's got a taste for it. Can he butter up and kick another 2 or 3 in the second term and turn it into a bag? They've got a bit going for them, but it's a great contest.
25 goals now for the season for Jai Amos. Will Schofield, there's a particular matchup you've had your eye on.
Yeah, and it's a backman that's involved in it. Cal Wilkie is a superstar, and Freo have decided to send Patrick Voss to him. So a few weeks ago, I spoke about Patrick Voss. He got a little bit passive, and he hadn't got that energy and that spark going. But have a look at some of this footage behind the play. This has been going on all night, boys, and it's to do with Patrick Voss trying to play a bit more of a defensive forward on Cal Wilkie. There's probably a few free kicks here, but I actually like that it's letting go. The only free kick that was played was this one, which was absolutely not there. Every backman in the country is disappointed in that one. But, yeah, Cal Wilkie's trying to get to Bolton and anyone else down there. Patrick Voss trying to get to Wilkie. It's been a great battle. Voss probably on top of it. He's kicked 2 goals, been dangerous, had a third shot on goal. Really used his strengths. You see this one, he just stands up in any sort of physical nature, and I really like how he's gone about it. Cal Wilkie getting frustrated. Patrick Voss, this is what he does. He's an antagonist. He's an instigator when he's at his best. So, look, the head-to-head matchup from disposals won't be the one that wins it at the end of the day. It's whether he can affect Cal Wilkie and his interceptability. We know what he does with his marking and what he does behind the footy. If Patrick Voss can make him accountable, I think it goes a long way to being influential. I don't know how you boys have seen that, but I think Patrick Voss is one of the most important players for Freo. Jason, Tom?
Couldn't agree more, Scully. If he continues to do this job, he's incredibly valuable for the Dockers. Yes, he's annoying. He doesn't mind being annoying. Taking Wilkie's mind off the job, making life very hard for him. Now, he's contributing as much as Wilkie is when they're wrestling. And look, he got a very lucky free kick. But, hey, you've got 2 goals to your name, and you've taken the focus of Wilkie a little bit away from the game into what he's doing in his one-on-one matchup. I think it's a big win.
It's a great matchup. We'll keep watching in the second half, which is coming up very shortly. And a big weekend of footy on Fox, of course, all the way through until Sunday night when Jason, the team, will be back in action with plenty of laughs and plenty of fun, turning it up on Bounce on a Sunday night before the boys on First Crack get stuck into all the big issues from another big round in the AFL.
All right, while they're going back on break, we'll get back to some of the stats there, folks, for you, because we know how you love those. Let's have a look at the disposal getters out on the ground. There's 2 players leading the way on 16 disposals. We'll go for Jack Sinclair. 16 for the Saints there, 12 kicks, 4 handballs, 5 marks, 403 metres gained, so not too bad there for him, for his game. Equal out on the ground. Luke Ryan there for the Fremantle Dockers on 16 touches. He's had 8 kicks, 8 handballs, 5 marks, pretty much the same. Not as much metres gained, 153. Carl Warner next best with Matty Johnson on 14 touches there for the Dockers. Sam Flanders for the Saints also on 14 there. Let's roll on down. Andy Brayshaw there, 13 touches, 3 kicks. He's doing the handball job. He's had 10. 5 clearances there for him. Callum Wilkie on 12 with Maxi Hall for the Saints. Let's roll on down. Murphy Reid, well, I'd like to see a little bit more impact out of him in the second half. He's only had the 10 touches along with Judd McVie and Neil Aramis. They're the only players in double figures out there at the moment. Paloppo, 9 touches. There's just the 7 kicks, 2 handballs, but he has kicked those 2 goals. Luke Jackson, look out for him in the second half. Well, this is probably a little bit quieter standard for him. 9 touches, 3 kicks, 6 handballs, 13 hit-outs, 3 clearances. We'll have a little bit of a look at Mason Cox in a moment. Shai Bolton also done a couple of nice things there. Beautiful kicks to his fellow teammates. 9 disposals, 5 kicks for him. Mason Wood, Winhager, both on 8 there for the Saints. Josh Tracy, well, there we go. He's been reasonably well held out there, I think, in the first half. He's only had 1 goal, 1 off his 6 kicks, 8 disposals for him. Jack Silvani playing a pretty good game there in defence for the Saints on 8. Bradley Hill on 8 disposals also, a little bit quiet. Paddy the Prancing Pony Voss. I tell you what, folks, he's only had 7 touches, 5 kicks, 2 handballs, 3 marks, 1 tackle. He's kicked 2 goals, but he's been here, there and everywhere. I've liked the way he's been playing this evening. I think is it Wilkie's? He's opponent for the Saints. It's been a great battle there for the two of them there. I just want to have a look at Mason Cox. Probably one they thought that could make a really good addition to the Dockers side. But tell you what, he needs to lift his game. He hasn't done much at all. I've probably seen him play one reasonable game there for the Dockers so far. He's only had the 6 touches, 3 kicks, 3 handballs, 2 marks a tackle, 6 hit-outs, 3 clearances. So he really needs to lift. He needs to, instead of just jogging around like a giraffe, he needs to start to put the pedal to the metal and try a little bit of pace in his legs. All right, who else we got for you folks out there? TDK, there we go. The $1 million man or $12 million man, whatever he costs. He's only had 5 touches, 8 hit-outs for the Saints. Not doing much. Jai Misso, he's doing pretty good. When he gets the ball and has a kick, look out. 5 disposals, had 4 kicks, but he's kicked 3 straight, so he's not missing the goals. He's doing really well there. Isaiah Dudley, little pocket rocket there for Freo. Look out for him also. He can lift. Just the 4 touches, 3 kicks, no score on the board. Let's just have a quick look at the team stats. Don't forget, folks, don't forget, if you want to be a part of AFL football history, of course, tomorrow, 4:30, we're going to head on over for the full match between Collingwood and West Coast, where Scotty Pendlebury breaks the record games, game 433. Wow, it's going to be a sellout crowd. I think they're expecting 90+ thousand to be here. Everyone wants to get there for this record-breaking, history-making game there tomorrow. There we go. Looking at the disposal count, it's plus 17 to Freo, inside 50s. Both teams getting good inside 50 numbers there. 26-23, 9 scoring shots for 26 entries for the Dockers, but 23 entries for the Saints for 10 scoring shots. So going slightly better there. Free kicks. Look, you've got to like when the umpires putting away the whistle a fair bit. 9 free kicks to 5, just 14 in total, but it's plus 4 to the Dockers up until half time. The hit-outs, 19-13. The Dockers doing the job there by 6. The clearances, Dockers also plus 3, 19-16, but that comes in the way of the stoppage clearances, 12-9 Dockers way. Centre clearances all tied up at 7 apiece there, folks, 7 apiece. Pretty well contested game, this one, 74-62. It's plus 12 to the Dockers, so going all right. Uncontested. Well, there we go. There's not much chip and mark in this game. There's only 8, the difference, 117-109. Dockers leading in a lot of these stats, just not on the scoreboard at the moment. St Kilda marking the ball, taking a few more grabs by 11, but marks inside forward 50. As I said, Freo did hit their targets well. It was just late in that second quarter that they didn't really take the ball inside their forward 50 well. They just got a little bit panicky. Reasonably good pressure by both sides. Want to have a look at the defensive tackles. This needs to be talked about. This needs to be talked about, folks. 19 tackles up until half-time for Fremantle. What are you doing? They should be up around 31. That's not good enough. They need to really lift their pressure and hunt St Kilda a little bit more in their tackle. Be a little bit more in there around the grounds. That 19 for a half. That is... well, that's pretty well the lowest I've pretty much seen, I think, for any game for a long time. 29 tackles, St Kilda. They're going above average, but that's what you want to be on. And, of course, their pressure inside forward 50. Both teams need to lift there. It's only 4-2 tackles inside 50. Dockers do lead that by a couple. There we go. Just reiterating, folks, the live ladder at the moment. The live ladder... Of course, if you're a St Kilda fan and you happen to win this game, you'll jump up into 8th spot. That has been the live ladder. If not, you'll drop back down to about 9th spot there, I think. Somewhere there, 9th or 10th. And, of course, Freo, if you lose this game, you'll definitely remain in second after this round because you're a game and a half clear. But if you happen to win, you'll go on top of the AFL ladder at the present time. And of course, with Sydney playing Geelong, you may remain there. Hey, folks, just before we go any further, let's just have a look at the games coming up that have been played. Of course, Adelaide we saw go down marginally to Hawthorn down there in Tassie. Hawthorn won that game by 9 points, 75-66. And of course, the other game being played at the moment between Richmond and Essendon. 9 minutes into the final quarter there, it's Richmond 8-point leaders. Richmond 8-point leaders. And of course, you got this game. And of course, tomorrow, you got the big games. North Melbourne taking on the Gold Coast Suns at Marvel Stadium. Tell you what, that could be a game North Melbourne could win. You never know. That's going to be a fascinating game. Geelong, Sydney. How you going, El? This is going to be a tight game down there at GMHBA Stadium. But I do suspect this is a game that Geelong will win by probably about 9 points. I think it's going to be a tight game. But I think the way Geelong's going, I'll definitely have to tip them. Just slightly been a home game. Collingwood West Coast Saturday, as I said, the record-breaking games for Scotty Pendlebury. History in the making, 4:35. That's the game we'll be covering. We won't be covering the Sydney Geelong. We'll be covering the Collingwood West Coast game for the history-making game there tomorrow, 4:35 p.m. Tune on in for that. And, of course, Saturday night, Port Adelaide taking on Carlton. Well, that's going to be a fascinating game, isn't it? There we go. And of course, 2 games to round out round 11 coming up on Sunday. GWS Giants taking on the Brisbane Lions at any stadium. That's going to be a fascinating game. Brisbane Lions out of form. GWS Giants aren't going as well, but it's going to be fascinating. Of course, Sunday, the last game, Marvel Stadium. Western Bulldogs taking on Melbourne. That's going to be a cracking game as we see. There we go. There we go, folks. There we go. That is the games that have been played and still to play. We're going to head back down to the ground and they're going to take us into the final term, or final half, I should say, for the third quarter, where it's the Saints leading by 1 point.
I don't know how to say that.
Look, he determined his own position. I thought it was pretty full on at the start of the game. We're hoping the umpire blow the whistle. I'm not sure why they let it go, but I think it's settled down.
Right. Good luck for the second half.
Thanks.
Well, they're straight into it, aren't they, Voss? And it's great to see. Get your popcorn out for the second half, I think.
Well, Rossi said he thought it had settled down. I'm not quite sure. I think he's more hopeful than anything else. But it's been an enthralling battle and one that's working for Freo at the moment. So Cal Wilkin will have to problem solve.
Yeah, you talk about getting the popcorn out. One of those players that you'd love to get it out for is Shai Bolton. He's had a quiet first half. He's only had the 9 possessions and 1 score involvement. For a player that averages 8, don't be surprised if you see him get going here.
Third quarter is underway. Wally up in Euro. The Dockers and the Saints at Optus Stadium on a Friday night. It was thrown out almost by Jackson. Got it to Johnson, and on cue, here's Bolton driving it inside 50. Howard's back there under pressure. Tracy, net there, Silvani, Wilkie, Sinclair living dangerously. The Saints defenders, the pressure arriving. A crunching tackle from Boss. Dislodged the footy. Murphy Reid, cool, calm, collected. Fremantle jumping out of the blocks to start the third.
He's a young player, Murphy Reid, but he makes really good decisions. Okay, 35 tonight, but just off one step. His vision's great. He sees the little hole when he gets the ball back and goes, yeah, I can chip it there. Very quickly hits the target, gives them a regulation set shot for goal.
Big tackle from Patrick Voss. Helping create the opportunity. Quick start to the third term, and swiftly through Switkowski, the Dockers grab the lead.
I think the boys getting over and recognising the effort Paddy Voss too, Tom.
Yeah, Will pointed that out so well at half-time. He talked about the match-up there against Wilkie, not only being a presence offensively but defensively, providing pressure, and as teammates you love seeing your big forwards do that, but it comes from the goal comes from a part of the ground, the score source being the stoppage, and particularly the centre throw-up, a part of their game that they need to get on top of. The St Kilda dominated the game early through swung back momentum, and they get a inside 50 from that stoppage part of the ground and are able to score.
6 forward, 50 tackles now for the Dockers. Great sign for the St Kilda's too. Here we go.
That happened off the ball down in the forward line.
Yeah.
It bubbled over, Scully, what'd you see?
Yeah, this is Voss and Wilkie going at it, and we've caught it all night.
And it leads to a free kick to the Saints. They go inside 50. Kamanides there. Filippo turned into trouble. No whistle. Play on is the call. Brayshaw, Warner, and off the boot of Chapman. Wanted to be boundary thrown in. This is what happened.
Harris and Silvani. Voss.
Get on with it.
So it's against Voss, I would imagine.
Get on with it.
Four.
A lot of wrestling going on. Two rucks near them. Got at it. Clark. Goes boundary side. Left foot kick. Tracy up to help.
He runs far and wide, doesn't he? He's more than happy to come all the way upfield just to give that outlet kick from the defensive 50.
Go backwards. With a bouncing footy. Brendan Cox had to retrieve it.
Doesn't always show great urgency, Brendan Cox, does he? Just strolled back for that one.
Very casual customer. And Luke Ryan couldn't hang on. Kamanides with a good tackle not to infringe and a ball up.
Thanks, Luke. Just here, Luke. Just here.
Tracy with the 6 marks.
Luke, Tom, give me
So
space.
far in the game. Koning. Bolton. With a step backwards and then Hall with a terrific tackle.
Had the handball option. So Bolton wanted to break.
Get zone.
He sends it in and Brendan Cox, again, a cool customer back there, takes the intercept mark. Short just the 15 for Ryan.
Outside 5. Move it on. Play on.
It's presented to Johnson up the line. Not a lot of movement. It's a kick to the contest. Jackson there, as was Silvani. Locked up.
Rex. Luke, Tom. Thank you. Give me space.
Ball in the path of Wilson. Now cutting through the corridor. What a tumble, the ball forward. And Cox had to wait for it. Fumbled. Caminiti, Ward over the top. Bradley Hill back home in the west. In Sir Duck Nichols' Indigenous round. He designed the jumper and he'll enjoy that one.
Fumbles Kilda. And look at the Harvey Norman replay as the ball comes in here. Brendan Cox has this all parcelled up, just needs to handle the ball cleanly. He doesn't, and then it's too late. Can't get it back.
It was a lovely finish by Bradley Hill, but it was Darcy Wilson in the middle of the ground who was just able to be clean when others weren't. Jordan Clark, that's a risky position to handball. I know they like to go from defensive part of the ground back through the corridor and take the game on, but that's the risk you run sometimes going back through that part of the ground.
Ball back in the middle. Maxwell again having an impact, but they lose a handle on it. Tracy, Bolton, Frederick, Driscoll riding shotgun, trying to roll on to that left shoe, and then Jackson slipping at the wrong moment. Sinclair, Windhager, O'Connell out of defence to the one-on-one. Chapman. Snudge Filippo under it nicely. Saints with the lead back. There's O'Driscoll. Sends it to the pocket. 2 Saints up. Tracy weighted down. They spoils each other. Back to O'Driscoll. To his left side. Into Voss. Calls the contest. Knocked it down. Sukowski's kick was touched. And Sinclair happy to take the contact and just hold it up for a ball up.
Rux, Tom, Luke, back this way.
Deep in attacking territory for Wallula. Jackson took it out of the ruck. Sukowski. Call it immediately. Another stoppage.
Luke, Tom. Spear out, thanks, guys.
All the numbers around it. Jackson elevates. O'Connell
Kick.
in out of defence. This will be important. Brennan Cox took it nicely down low. Inboard, Brayshaw kept the arms clear. Clark almost run down. It affected the kick. Saints in defence. Silvani overshot the handball to Hill. Windhager was there. Wilson tried to crash through. Tracy had a fumble. Wilson, Stocker. The Saints trying to be clean, but just too much on it. Driscoll's there. One back by Wallila. Tracy's got Frederick out wide in space. Now it opens up as they try to overlap. Cruising past is Erasmus in game number 50.
It's a great finish in the end, but it was just a series of errors from both teams going for speculative handball chains, and they just kept turning it over. Saints had a couple of goes, the Dockers had a couple of goes, and in the end, when Tracy got it, he saw Frederick out in space, and that opened things up. And then it was just a matter, even though it wasn't the perfect kick, he was able to gather. And you can see the running support coming on the inside from Erasmus. This is a great finish.
Yeah, a lovely finish, and it comes off the back of pressure. It's something we put on the table at the start of the game. The pressure is through the roof to the start the second half by Freo up at 237. They've actually also been able to take away St Kilda's marks, so they haven't been able to take a mark at all so far in this third quarter, so suffocating with their come-forward defence.
I reckon Ross was on the blow. I just talked about a couple of those speculative hand passes.
Fair bit of feedback on the phone. And there's a tumbling ball, Sherry. Holding free kick goes the Saints' way to Flanders. So another lead change in this one.
Move it on.
Lila back in front. Good contest on a Friday night. As Sinclair out wide. O'Driscoll got back to the front. Neither could hold on to it. McRae on the boot to the pocket. Sharman paid the mark. It was a late whistle, and he had good purchase on it. Freo fans don't quite agree.
She doesn't agree, but he probably held it long enough. We've seen worse marks paid in the last 2 weeks than that one.
So just the second mark of the quarter for the Saints. It's all about the finish though for Kukashan. He's had a couple of looks at it. Going out to the right.
He has had a couple of looks. That's probably his best kick off the boot thus far, and it still wasn't that close. So don't want to let too many of these opportunities go missing, the Saints.
Outside 5.
V.
Play out.
Driscoll's getting busy in his turn. He got it out to McVee. Slung up the line. Brennan Cox knocked out of his hands, but had enough.
I just feel like Freo are getting on top in the game, Jason. You mentioned it early in the first quarter. When you're away from home and you're coming up against one of the best sides in the competition, you need to make the most of opportunities inside forward 50.
Clark only across half back, unsure where to go, had to be precise, and was to McDonald.
Gee, it was a good kick. There was nothing else. Turns that over. That's a goal to St Kilda.
That's why they love Jordan Clark back there. One-time All-Australian, first last year. He takes the game on. He's not afraid to try and punish the opposition.
McVee unsure where to go. Swear Dockers can get a little trapped and they can't move the footy.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with buying time with uncontested marks if the opposition give it to you. Keep shifting that defensive zone. Keep probing until something opens up.
Across to McDonald. Now called to go. Have to go to a contest down the line. And he's got Jackson launching himself through the hands. It was very similar this game to the last time these two sides played at this venue. Went right down to the wire.
Back it out, guys. Watch for one.
Saints led by 14 points at the start of the last and set things up. Freo rolled over the top. It's a similar type of arm wrestle right throughout the contest.
Back it out. Tom, Luke.
Biggest lead in that game was 14 points either way. Going at it again tonight. Kane throwing his boot at it. Wilson. Flanders. Now McRae. Steadies up the line. McDonald worked hard to the front to intercept. Now he's going to go. Sharman, a lunging attempt at the smother. Mason Cox spoilt it, then tried to claim it. Silvani got back quickly. It's almost a mark to Mason Cox. There's Reed's in there, Dudley. Swarming tackling again from the Saints.
It's one of the more ambitious mark claims I've ever seen.
Straight up, please.
But he did what he had to do. He at least got there to spoil the mark from being taken in front, so he prevented the intercept mark.
Keeps it in the 50 for Freo. Knocked away. Okay, his backside trying to get a handball. Windhager in there. Tumbles a kick. Sharman. A boot to it. Now Reed. Up towards Amos on the lead. Dudley front and centre. There was a whistle, a free kick. Do they take the advantage? It bounced home. They're going to pay the advantage.
He was about to bring it back.
It's all clear.
No, I disagree with that.
They stopped in the goal square after the whistle, and the Sheriff took an almighty turn on the bounce, and it's a goal to Isaiah Dudley.
Now, the way I read this situation, Tom, is I looked at the umpire, and when he saw how quickly Dudley kicked it, he thought he hasn't had time to make a decision, and he was blowing the whistle to bring it back for the set shot. Then when they saw the odd bounce that it took and it went through, they wave it, play on.
Yeah, they even misses that. Look, he thinks
He's bringing it back there. Oh, wow. That's tough.
Even his teammates.
Yeah, that's the umpire there saying it's coming back. Oh, then the other umpire said advantage, so he goes, okay, wave it on. That's really stiff for the Saints. Really stiff.
Well, Dudley was saying he didn't want to play on, and then saw the bounce and thought, how good's that?
I've stolen one.
And pinch a goal there, Wallula.
Well, that's the second goal they've pinched, boys. That free kick in that first quarter as well.
Yeah,
Some pretty hard down by down that end of the ground.
In terms of the scoreline, it's only a couple of goals in at 10 points the margin as Chapman takes a nice intercept. Freakish bounce in the goal square for Dudley. Mason Cox cross off hands. Banfield trying to get there, paddling it. Spills to Voss. Wagner looking for runners inside. Tackled over the line. And a boundary throw. Wagner's not happy with it. It's a good strong tackle from Banfield.
Yeah, and I think Banfield was entitled to lay that tackle close to the boundary line.
Seen a bit of this tonight. Murphy Reed and Max Hall. Toe to toe. Right away. Marshall dropped the footy down. Craig got it out. Garcia get the clearance for the Saints. Sharman tried to elevate. They told stayed down and completed the mark.
Again, they just take time and space away. That's their... In terms of marks, St Kilda have only taken 3 for the quarter, so they're well and truly on top in that part of the ground, taking 20 themselves.
Big discrepancy. It's now with O'Driscoll. One ball in. Tracy tried to crunch it. It's a terrific mark by Stocker to stand with all that pressure arriving behind. And the Saints get it moving out of their defence. Wilkie, wide for Caminiti. Back for Stocker. And now Silvani. He tried to step inside. He just got away from Tracy. It was a daring manoeuvre. McDonald in front. Keep it moving. Mason Wood over the top one of Banfield, and it's out by O'Driscoll. Let's check if it came off the boot or not. And it's going to be a boundary throw.
Rowan Mason, thank you.
10-point margin. Olila looking for a 10th straight win, which would be a club record. And man wins a couple of times before, including under Ross Lyon. He's coaching for the Saints tonight. As Bolton's tackled.
I'll come in here. Yep, that way. This way.
Very much an arm wrestle. And can break clear. Mason Cox with a hit out. Johnson coughed it up to Filippo. Opportunity here for the Saints. Warner across, knocked it down. Burns roving, trying to get it out. Mason Wood lost it to Chapman. Now Murphy-Reid. Big one-on-one. Amos snatched out of it by Caminiti. Looks like he's gone back to help in defence after starting the match forward.
Yeah, that's a good one-on-one win too. Good way
He's
to make
back
the
there
first
because Howard's done a calf, boys. That's why Caminiti's in the back line.
Thanks, Scois, on injury trouble there for the Saints. There's a high ball. Sinclair, Henry, oh, they got it mixed up. Banfield was there too. I'm not sure who's going to go for it. Still an opportunity. Henry, Marshall, tackle, lost it. Henry still going. Under the boot. Docker scrambling in defence. Frederick quickly. Now Clark. And they might be able to get out of their defensive 50. One option down the line. It was Amos who presented hard. Relieving mark.
communication from the Saints. That's a chest mark inside the attacking 50 and a shot for goal. And two players got it horribly wrong.
One kick by Amos. Tracy was there. Silvani the spoil. Carroll getting involved. Burns. Bradley Hill. Dudley the chase and the trip. But no whistle.
Gotta be an ankle tap.
Looked like a tap to the ankles. No free kick. Fremantle take the advantage and Bolton misses.
Oh, Shea Bolton had so much time then. He could have run, carried, could have looked at the chip for Paddy Voss, and he just blasted away off one step. It's a let off for the Saints. But that probably deserves a free kick there, so I think that squares it up.
Looked like a touch there. Dudley with that lunging tackle. Mason Cox threw Marshall out of it too early. He was aggressive with the feedback to how he wants the ball delivered.
Yeah, a little bit lower because the bloke playing on me 7 foot tall. There's Dougal Howard. Having that calf attended to. That's unfortunate. The ice pack strapped onto it. That's his night done.
And disappointing because they've been building some nice chemistry, I should say, down that part of the ground. Wilkie, Silvani and Howard.
It's another calf injury for the Saints. Owens, Wanganeen Miller, Liam Ryan, all with calf injuries at the moment. Long injury list for Euroke. Mason Cox in the ruck. Wilson, good pick up. Run down by Clark. Allowed to play, Garcia. McRae. Back to Carroll. Steadies up. Good delivery. And Mason Wood presents.
He kicked a couple early, Mason Wood. Gets an opportunity to kick his third now, and maybe he's the option they can look for going forward. It's been difficult for Sharman and Caminiti prior to this hitting the scoreboard. Mason Wood the most likely option at the moment.
More experience out there for the Saints. Opportunity on the set shot to bring the margin back again. It starts left.
That's the miss that hurts. That's the one that hurts when you're battling to stay in the contest. You get a chance to make it a one-kick game again. Just take a little bit of pressure off your teammates, buy them a little bit of time and space. They can grab a breath, but you miss and the pressure builds again.
Warner. No defence. Docker was there again, putting himself in a vulnerable spot. It's off his hands, and eventually Wilkie's wrapped up.
Just going back to the Saints and how they enter, that's probably how they have to look at just adjusting slightly with Caminiti, the bigger body not being there. They can't necessarily always go to the contest.
Ben Hager. O'Connell. It was off the side of the boot, but it worked perfectly for Bradley Hill.
Got Marshall pushing forward. He's missed him.
Wrong ball in. Mason Wood to Koning. Got some targets there. Look, Ryan was happy enough to see it to the boundary.
5 metres shorter on that kick, and Rowan Marshall marks that. He'd worked really hard to push forward into space.
Luke, thank you.
It's almost that communication level again. They've just got to keep exploring ways that they can evolve that, because there is a way where he comes back and marks it unattended. Talk from DeConey. I think it was
Stacking this way.
Wood as well, can allow him to come back and almost take that uncontested mark.
And a crunch time later on in this third quarter. Filippo out. Henry. Kick squeezed the wrong direction. Stocker. Sherry. Winhager a big bump. dislodged the footy. Banfield's kick couldn't find a target. McDonald a fumble. Left his opponent, came out to meet it. Fortunately kept the footy in front of him. Now it's Chapman, smothered. Good pressure from the Saints. Warner. Ryan. Chapman. Just a blasting kick. And Tracy down the line. Always the get out of jail option.
Again, looked out of position there, but just finds a way to get back into the contest and takes an uncontested mark effectively.
Brayshaw. The Saints roll back in number. Down the line, Mason Cox dropped it. Got rid of his man early. And now Bolton will just tee it up. Bradley Hill back there. Juggles a great defensive move. Had to take it and he did.
He's been doing that for a long time, Brad Hill, getting back and supporting his defenders.
And a wild kick though. Just as they were looking to alleviate the pressure, goes out of bounds on the fall off the boot of wood. Gives possession back to the Dockers and a chance to go back inside 50. Ryan to Brayshaw. Tracy on a charging lead. Brayshaw goes over his head to the pocket of space. Mason Cox was there. Marshall tried to shrug off Dudley. Flanders. Carroll. Kick to space. Kick towards the boundary. And a Lasso free kick.
Don't mind that though, buys them a little bit of time, just hold the ball up, just slightly, let them get reset ahead of the footy, or behind the footy, should say.
Johnson to McVee. And looking for an option. High ball to the pocket, didn't advantage Jackson or Tracy.
So at the moment, the St Kilda defence is standing up really well because it's one-way traffic. The ball's living in Freo's forward half, but they haven't done the damage on the scoreboard.
It's Banfield getting back to help. De Koning in good spot. McDonald the spoil. Sherry tackled.
It's the second mark Charlie Banfield's taken back with a flight this game. It's the second game of footy. Did his shoulder not that long ago in the VFL, so see him out here. He's a pretty big size for a first-year player.
Yeah, he's done some good things, Scully. He's certainly got something.
Position here. And he's tackled. The Eagles not able to match a bit by the Saints for Banfield, the son of two-time premiership player Drew. Sherry. O'Driscoll trying to step through. Sherry and Hall both had to go. Hall won the footy. O'Driscoll. It spills back to Hall. Now to Flanders. Saints on the move. Up to Mason Wood. McDonald was there. Harassed him enough to win the footy down. And Wagner rolls around. Jackson. Contested marking of Volula. Just helping them advance the footy again. As Sherry in towards Tracy.
Well, you just figure they had to start taking some marks sooner or later. This is going to be a big kick for Tracy because the Dockers need to get some benefit for what's happening at the moment. 14-9, the inside 50s. They're just starting to win more territory, get these opportunities, but they haven't been particularly good with that final kick inside 50. Most of the time bombing away, at least that time you get a one-on-one opportunity for a key forward.
Tough kick. He's pushing off the fence in that forward pocket. It's one of their leaders, Josh Tracy. It's a big moment, but he cannot convert. Just sneaks it in for a behind.
Stay behind, Anthony.
It's been a scrap. 3 goals to 1 in this term. Wheeler have a good record in third quarters this season. 7 wins and 2 losses in third quarters. As now Banfield getting involved again. Hall is there, takes the mark, impacts again, plays on. Hearns will send it in, and Sharman. Great transition. They've got one on over the top. It's Henry who crept forward and from the square kicks a critical goal for the Saints.
Well, we haven't been able to see the Saints do that all night, take the ball from one end to the other, but there were some important pieces in the puzzle to allow them to kick the score, so really clever handball. Max Hall going back with the flight. Lovely handball forward to Burns. And just a really, really nice, I mean, I know that's easy on paper to be able to do, but Sometimes it is easier to go back and have the shot when you're under pressure and you've got to hit a player ahead of the footy. And Frederick's coming back the other way, but that was nice from the Saints. They keep themselves in this game.
Here we go.
Centre kick in it, closing it on three-quarter time. Jackson, another up, but important little toe poke in there from Hall again. McRae, high ball. Brendan Cox, solid in defence.
Move it on. Play on.
Tracy, Jackson in the pack. Spills, Carroll sliced his way through. Brayshaw disrupted it. Silvani swallowed up by Tracy. Holding the ball after the fin.
He tackles with intent, the big man, Josh Tracy.
Ball not given back correctly. Means a 50-metre penalty with a minute to go in the third.
Right there, Jack. Yep.
Fremantle advanced up the field. Voss went on the lead. Goes wide. Amos, 3 to beat down there. Caminiti helping. Frederick at the spill, into the pocket. Voss, Murphy Reid, capable of the miraculous, hits the posts. Sends back in quickly. Winhager took a big bump as he got the kick away. Up to the wing. Still time to move it up the field, but it'll be a ball up.
See a couple of players there, Flanders and Sinclair, saying just slow it down. Take the heat out of this. Just thought they'll try and move a little bit too quickly and stop. We should have hung on to the ball.
Marshall with strength. All involved again. Wilson with speed. A run and 2 bounces. Building again. Trying to get it out the back. Couldn't find Sharman. Brendan Cox, another important intercept late. Wagner. They try and take it on. Long way to move the footy up the ground. And Tracy, another mark to his name.
You see how hard he's working to sprint to get there to provide the option.
His 9th of the game. Marking at Josh Tracy. You can see how gassed he is. Working so hard to help his side out. Digging deep late on in that quarter. Terrific stuff from the big key forward. It's been an almighty arm wrestle to this stage. Real scrap and a tight one as we turn for home. And the footy continues tomorrow. The Suns have found a bit of form. They head to Marvel to take on the Kangaroos, looking to bounce back from 12:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. The Super Saturday on Fox Footy.
All right, there we go. Where are we? There we go. 3/4 time. The Fremantle Dockers by 1 goal, 10-5, 65. 9-5, 59, St Kilda. Will that decision by the umpires to call advantage when he stopped the play to bring it back, the Fremantle resulted in a goal. Will that be the deciding factor in this game? Not sure, but we'll certainly wait and find out. There we go. 3 goals, 3 to the Dockers in that third term. 2 goals, 2 to the Saints. The Dockers continue to keep pressing in this game. Tell you what, if the Dockers end up losing this game, it'll be their game to lose because they do look like they've been the side that has been pressing a little bit more than the Saints. Oh my gosh, I got the hiccups. There we go. Just for all you Dockers fans out there, there we go. That is the live ladder. I'll put that on just in case it goes the opposite way. But there we go. If Fremantle end up winning, they will be on top of the AFL ladder, a game clear of Sydney. And of course, the Saints will drop down to 9th if that is the case. That is the live ladder. Hey, just having a look at the goal scorers out there at the moment. Just a reminder, in the other game, Richmond defeating Essendon 74-56, Dreamtime at the G. Richmond victors there. Goal scorers in tonight's match here. Jai Miss for the Dockers. He's got 3. Paddy the Prancing Pony Voss. He's got 2, Paddy Voss. That's more goals than kicked in a soccer game. 2 goals. Josh Tracy. Sikorsky's got 1. Frederick Aramis has got 1. And Isaiah, the Pocket Rocket Dudley, he's got 1 also. For the Saints, got some multiple goal scorers there for them. Mason Wood has got 2. Paloppo, he's got 2. Also Liam Henry and Max Hall all have 2 goals. There we go. Bradley Hill, he's got a single there for the Saints. Disposal getters out on the ground. Well, it's all the Saints at the moment, and there's only 3 Saints in the 20s. Jack Sinclair on 22, 15 and 7 he's got. Maxie Hall, 21 touches, 8 and 13, 8 clearances, 2 goals. You can't ask much more than that. Sam Flanders, 21 and 6 tackles for Freo. Carl Warner and Luke Ryan on 19 disposals each. Matty Johnson, 18. Josh Tracy, I tell you what, he was a bit better that third term. Came into the game a little bit more, presented his presence around the ball. 17 touches, 11 and 6. He's kicked 1 goal, 2. Oh, I tell you what, I'm sure he's going to have a big last quarter. Murphy Reed, 17. O'Driscoll, 17. Andy Brayshaw, 17. For the Dockers, Jack McRae, also 17 touches. Luke Jackson, there we go, 14 touches. He got a little bit into the action there, 17 hit-outs, 6 clearances. I'll tell you what, I reckon he'll come alive in this final term coming up. Jack Silvani, 13 there for the Saints. Who else we got there for you? Heath Chapman, Shai Bolton, Addy. We need Wharfie time. Son all need Wharfie time. You better believe it. I don't know what that is, but you need it. I tell you what, this Michael Frederick for the Dockers, he's a great player. I think he's an unspoken player in the Dockers. I think he's got super duper talent. I can tell you what, he's one player that certainly lifts the Dockers. Michael Frederick, 10 touches. He's had 4 kicks, 6 handballs. He's had a tackle. He's had a clearance. He's kicked a goal as well. There we go. The prancing pony. He hasn't been prancing too much since the opening term and a half. He's still on 2 goals there for him. All right, there we go down. Mason Cock, he's just, he's just lingering around like a giraffe out there. 7 touches, just the 8 hit-outs, 3 clearances. Tom de Koning, 12 hit-outs, 2 clearances, 6 disposals for the Saints. Jai Mistel on 3 goals there. Give him the ball. He kicks wonders. Looking for a big quarter also from Isaiah Dudley in the final term, the little pocket rocket for the Dockers. And tell you what, if you saw his goal, what did you think of that one? What did you think? I tell you what, folks, we've got the poll in the chat, the live chat. We've got the live poll. 100% of folks, what's going on? 100% have gone for the Fremantle Dockers to win this game. Is it going to be right? Tell you what, I think they might be right. I think Freo might go on to win this game. It'll be about the same margin. There we go. Of course, it was the Saints leading by 6 points at quarter time, the Saints leading by 1 point at half time, but the Dockers finally take the front. They're going in a goal in front at 3/4 time. Can it continue? Freo by 20 points, says Addy G, Freo's #1 supporter. All right, let's head back down to the ground, and they will take us into the action for the final quarter here at Optus Stadium, whereas top spot up for grabs for Freo.
Spot. Waits for the bounce. Everyone stops. Defenders stop. Midfielders stop. And then it goes for the goal and they say, no worries. 6 points. Thanks for coming. Don't know if that's a part of the game we really want to see, but certainly sets it up for a great game. Looking for Wharfie time.
Doesn't look great from an umpiring perspective. I'm sure they'll review that one and take us through it. But today, there's a game to play for here. If you said to the Saints, you're a kick down at 3/4 time pre-game, I reckon you take that because it means you are right in the window to snatch an 8-point victory here. An 8-point buy in 2 games is what I'm suggesting.
We're underway, final quarter. Crossing of the line, free kick.
Thank you.
Goes the way of Europe to start. Taken by DeConing. Chance here for an early one for the Saints. Couple of players slip. Sharman trying to jump over the pack. Mason Wood, Phillippo able to feed it back. O'Connell on the boot, swinging at Goldwood. And just to the near side, would have been a great time for his first. Right to bring it back into play. Nervous energy around the stadium. Tight game. 5-point lead. Bolton to the air. Knocked it down to Switkowski. driving his way through and then releasing Bolton, who's able to get out the other side. He's got Voss on inside 50, drives it in that direction. Good spoil by Wilkie. Caminiti took his time, got a kick away. High ball, test of strength. Tracy Flanders, tackled by Switkowski. Garcia in and under. Spills to Switkowski. He tried to get it out of there. Sherry through some traffic. Tough one to take. Garcia to Sinclair. Up the line, and again, Brennan Cox very casually but very comfortably takes the intercept.
Move it on. I'll keep it.
Frederick sends it to the pocket. Voss. Off hands, Wilkie, Switkowski. The space opened up and is run down by Stocker.
We needed to realise after a couple of fumbles that you're not going to have any time when you stand up with the footy. They dodge a bullet there, the Saints.
Play on. Me too.
Stocker up the line. Brennan Cox in front. That's a play. Sharman there. Brennan Cox a little slow to get back to his feet after landing awkwardly in that marking contest, and it's a last disposal free kick. Trainer out to the Freo defender. Up the line they go. Ball punched away. The player down for a second. Warner gets back out and make that change. There is the injury to Dougal Howard. Ruled out with a calf injury in that third term.
It's really interesting how the Saints have adjusted on the fly. So playing this forward handball, high possession game instead of the kick mark that they were playing in the first half.
Rolling forward by Windhager. It works for Sharman. It goes into the pocket. McDonald in front. Sinclair at the spill. Front and centre over the top. It opens the door. Wilson with a snap. Saints have the lead.
Another score from the source being a stoppage. And they look really good from that part of the ground, particularly early on. Maybe you've been out of their hands the last quarter and a half, 2 quarters. Freo got on top in that part of the ground, but this is just a nice contest win by Windhager. Goes forward. Sharman reading the ball early. Wants to find the big fella on the lead, but this is just really nice and classy by 2 players involved inside forward 50. A beautiful finish. Jason been talking about capitalising in your forward half, particularly early in quarters all day. And that's a nice one to get for Wilson.
He's an important player, still got run in the legs.
Another lead change. It's all been so busy tonight. Garcia lost it. Johnson. Jackson. Brayshaw just able to turn and work forward. Bolton getting busier. Brayshaw into a bit of trouble. Over the top to Reid. The Dockers building, but Sherry had to go back and find it. O'Connell, a great tackle. Koning's hit out. Garcia the clearance. And so good in that area this season. Sharman slapped it forward. Gained some metres for the Saints. Ryan back to win it. Over tackle. Found Reid. Rachel.
He waits his kicks well, Murphy Reid.
Rachel plays on. Into the pocket. Jackson! At the second bite.
Oh, he'll be disappointed, Tom de Koning. He had front position. Jackson able to jump over him, just judge it a little bit better. Oh, this becomes a massive kick now. It's just the 2 ruckmen going at it. They've both got to run and jump. Just doesn't quite get the vertical leap that we normally see from Tom de Koning.
8 goals for the season for Luke Jackson. Career best year, disposals, hit-outs, clearances. He's taken his game to another level. And at many stages, he's kicked big goals for the Dockers, but he cannot this time. Scores level. Sinclair. To Wilkie. Up the line, Jackson getting involved again. O'Connell did well to halve it. Spilt to Sherry. Bolton, Reid. Handball before he hit the turf to Jackson. Away to Switkowski. Delightful delivery for Tracy.
It's a beautiful kick. But this man will just always present. Now, you don't have to kick it through if you're running at goal and you feel like you can kick it. You've got that opportunity, but Switkowski just said, this is a nice, easy little chip into the path of the man leading at me. We'll go back and have the set shot. It just isn't what Josh Tracy's done particularly well tonight. He's finished his set shots.
He has been a little bit more wayward this season, Josh Tracy, than seasons past. It's a good look at it here. And that big full forward loves the big moments.
Well, it's just another string to Josh Tracy's bow to be able to come back up at the football. He's always got great timing in his leads. His work rate, we've praised him for all night. The way he's gotten up the ground and got to positions where he shouldn't have, but just this timing to be able to come back at the kick or identify that the space is there. But Jackson, he had a couple of huge moments in the lead up to that play, getting involved in the chain, reading the ball better in flight. As De Koning just got caught ball watching a little bit and stuck in the inside of the ground. Jackson was able to get forward, get involved in the chain, which was really important, which ultimately finds Tracy inside 50.
Leading the rankings points, his 10th mark of the night, Josh Tracy. De Koning in the middle. Big clearance here to win. Windhager slid in low, went into the legs of Jackson. Free kick to the Dockers. Jackson will go with a high kick. Bombing it in long. Tracy attracts the crowd. Marshall back to help. Had 4 to beat that time in the air, Tracy.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Back in this way. Rowan, Fremantle loop.
Johnson arriving late. Marshall got in his road. Rasmus had an arm pinned. No time to get rid of it. Ball up.
Right, Luke. Stay clear. Thank you. Clear out.
Stocker. Clearing kick on as far as water.
Session number 20 for Warner. He's been solid.
Move it on. Play on.
27 last week. Carl Warner, some great form. Long inside 50 at the spill. Towards the boundary line went Carroll. Sherry kept it in. Or did he? Boundary throw in.
Rowan, Luke.
Tense moments in a tight one. In his final turn. Marshall down. Windhager.
Rowan, Luke, back this way. Back this way. Thanks, we're watching.
His fans trying to find some voice and lift their side. Murphy Reid behind the back as the chant grows louder. Jackson trying to rise. Crowd noise lifting. Fremantle rising to the occasion. Switkowski, Dudley, Tracy, bang! Banfield stood up to it perfectly. Got it to Silvani. Windhager out of defence. Great atmosphere on a Friday night in the West. Clark to the 50. Reid with the mark. There's that best kick inside 50. He might go for home himself. Murphy Reid from long range.
Well, you felt like, Jace, that was inevitable at some point in time. Would Secure get their hands on the ball? How would they try and transition it forward when Fremantle had the +1 behind the ball? Clark was able to win it back at the source, and then on the re-entry find Murphy Reid inside forward 50, and just the patience. He always just makes really smart decisions. So waits for the area to be cleared out by both teammates and opposition players, and then senses the opportunity. He's got a little bit of space, backs himself, knows that he's got the leg, and that's an important finish from a young man that seemingly doesn't make mistakes when ball's in hand.
This kid's got serious talent.
Just the second season. He's going to get involved again. Reid tapping it on. Equal leading disposal winner. He creates opportunities. He creates chances. He releases teammates. Frederick couldn't capitalise.
I was waiting for a rule then if that hadn't gone through. Murphy Reid continues to have just impactful touches. Never looks rushed. He makes good decisions. We are going to enjoy watching him for many years.
Rookie on defence. Ryan thucks it away.
So now things are feeling really big in front of St Kilda. They're playing in their defensive half. They're struggling to get good exits, struggling to buy time to deliver the footy. They've got to hang tough. Still only a couple of goals down. Hang tough, plenty of time on the clock.
12 disposals in the second half for Murphy Reid, 22 for the match. Leading the way for the Dockers. Under pressure, Wilson. Filippo hung up the line. Warner's there, but spilt it. Garcia tackled.
So I don't mind what they've done. They were having their +1 St Kilda around the footy. They seem to have evened up numbers ahead of the ball, which gives them a chance 6 on 6 when they go in there.
Erasmus shoveled it out. Driscoll. Murphy Reid. Again, fleet of foot. Cannot lay a finger on him, but he just misses a handball target, which is a rare time. It was touched on the way past, so no last disposal. Will Schofield.
Boys, just a bit of an update on the crowd. It is the biggest crowd between these two sides ever, 53,707. And we haven't even had Wharfie time yet, boys. So it is a massive atmosphere on Friday night footy here between these two sides.
The train is rolling.
Crowds have been steadily building for the Dockers. They're aiming for a 10th consecutive win. It'll be a club record. Murphy Reid speculating handball in the end, but Clark made it work okay. Dangerous ball, but it's a good kick for Tracy. And then Frederick on the fly on the outside. Delivery for Amos. Fremantle building into their work. Amos into the pocket. Mason Cox at the spill. It's Dudley. Ever so deadly.
They are going berserk. They're sensing something special in 2026 for Dockers fans. St Kilda have been at them for 3 quarters, 3.5 quarters now. They're just starting to get a little bit of breathing space. A little bit lucky the hand pass from Murphy Reid that time back in the corridor under pressure. Found Clark and then he was able to find Tracy to Frederick. And this kick was just looking for the contest from the big man up forward, and he's able to do that. Just get the contest there, and that allows the Crummers to get front and square, and Dudley all on his own. Finished as well, Mason Cox with a good contest.
Yeah, he's done that well a couple of times tonight. They obviously look for him. He's a big focal point, bring the ball to ground and let your smalls go at it.
Biggest discrepancy in height between two players, Mason Cox and Hosea Dudley. And the tall and the short of it got it done for the Dockers as O'Driscoll to Warner, to Wagner, to the wing. Tracy there, off hands, Dudley couldn't reel it in.
We're seeing the praises of Murphy Reid, who's been on fire in the fourth. He's up to 8 possessions, but one of the other parts is he's so smart with ball in hand, but his score involvements is so clever. Whenever they're impacting the scoreboard, he seems to be involved.
12 score involvements. 12.
O'Driscoll trying to burst through. Wilson a good tackle. Away to Dudley again. Out into the space in front of Amos. Good punch away by Caminiti. Murphy Reid again. Look away handball. This time coughed up. Banfield in there. Can the Saints make a charge from defence? Carroll. Bradley Hill. Cruising through the corridor. High ball. Off hands. Spills backwards. McDonald's. Chapman. Ryan. Keep composed and find Erasmus.
Another beautiful kick, just relieves pressure, buys time. They get to settle, they get the structure up. So the pressure's on the Saints now to make the play. The Dockers don't go full defensive mode, but they certainly don't take risks.
Ryan. Up the line, Mason Cox, almost. Wilkie. McRae. From the wing, Up towards Burns. Warner chopped across to take it. And turns defence into attack to release O'Driscoll. A run and a bounce. A forward handball to create. Bolton gave it up to Frederick. Across the face. And the Saints will get back and retrieve it.
Trying to land the killer blow right now, the Dockers, and they haven't been able to do it.
Margin 19. It's the biggest lead of the game. 3 either side.
Need to find one goal, the Saints, and that'll give them belief that they can come again.
Carroll to Hill. Up the line. Sharman to the front. Umpire Burns, who weighed it down. Got some support. Sharman looks up. They need a mark inside 50. Marshall couldn't get there. At the spill. Hall's been the man to create. Philippo was good. Sinclair pokes the kick, not 15. O'Connell claiming the mark. They're living dangerously, the Saints. Mason Cox controlled it eventually. Awkwardly got it away. Cross crunched in. Big knee right into the back of Wilkie. Front on contact between Tracy and Silvani. Good contest all round. Players throwing themselves at the footy.
Yeah, Callum Wilkie doesn't need that. Up in Darwin, I think he copped a knee in the back in a similar position, so he's been a sore boy for the last couple of weeks.
He's in a vulnerable spot there as Wilson's kick goes wide and out of play. Possession back to the Dockers.
Back, you need to go all the way to the line and stand. Thank you. Stand.
Getting critical now for the Saints. Took under 9 minutes remaining. Warner. Up the line. Marshall there. Wilkie 2. Voss trying to beat 3. Bolton. Wilkie. Flanders. Back for Wilkie. And taking some physical contact and gets back in to lay a good tackle on Jackson.
Dominate, Mason. Rowan.
Marshall and Mason Cox. Looks to hit out down to Bolton. O'Driscoll to Wagner. And the noise builds. Voss and Wilkie, as they have been all night. Frederick trying to release Bolton. Slippery to catch. Doesn't get the handball away cleanly. Still involved in the play. Tumbles a kick forward. Bounce crucial. Tracy there. Amos out the back. Snaps the goal. Making them most of their chances towards the close. Awolula.
That's a good finish, and it gives them the breathing space now. I think they were a touch lucky. I'm not sure Shea Bolton got a hand pass away, and I think he actually resigned himself to the fact that he was caught, was ready to stand the mark, gave away a free kick, but the umpire didn't blow the whistle. So they got another crack at it, another bite. So this one here, that's not a hand pass. He stops. He thinks he's done. Then he goes, hang on, they didn't blow the whistle. I'll pick it up, have a kick. And then it's just Tracy and Amos competing as they do. Amos able to kick the snap.
Yeah, they're just overwhelming them here with inside 50s. That's 13-3 in this quarter alone. So
Let's go, ending up.
at some point, Freo were going to really put the foot on the gas. They've been able to do that and overwhelm the St Kilda side.
4 goals for Jai Amos. Sinclair out of the middle. Tumbling ball. Sharman. Rasmus overran it. And Bradley Hill create. This Mason Wood with the handball. Donald trying to crash his way through.
Thanks, Oscar. I'm backing out this way. Watch the line.
7 of the last 10 goals going the way of Waldila. Europe need to find something to hit back on the scoreboard. Brennan Cox just a dump kick out of defence, and Banfield. This might be their chance.
It's the first time they haven't had an exit target. He just threw it on the boot and kicked it as far as he could.
Banfield back into the hot spot. Bolton! Enormous!
Why is he going for that top?
Over 2 ruckman too. That was huge.
If you can do that, why wouldn't you go for it?
Because if that hits the deck, he's in all sorts of trouble.
Incredible highlight from Shea Bolton. Deep in defence, taking a hanger. Saints have got it back. Carroll. Where's Bolton? High ball. Knocked down. Brayshaw. Brennan Cox, tumbling ball. Wilson goes to the square. Marshall punched away. Still alive. Dangerous handball. Wagner. Bolton. Little slippery. Back to Brennan Cox. Way out of defence. Erasmus with courage. And advantage will be taken. Tracy was held. That was a free kick. Sherry trying to show his speed through the middle. They slice and dice through the corridor. Out towards Voss. Bounce is crucial. Takes him away from goal. Steadies. Has an option. Switkowski there. Flanders with a good score.
That was a great kick from Paddy Voss. A little bit high. This is Bolton. Now, if that comes to ground and the Saints kick a goal, you are in all sorts of trouble at the review meeting, but wow, that's a mark.
Well, he listened to you on the second one, Jace, because he stayed on his feet in the re-entry second zone.
Socked away by Windhager. Filippo. Wilkie. Driscoll working hard. Knocks it to his advantage a couple of times. McVee. Brayshaw. Back to Brendan Cox. Dangerous kick off the side of the boot. Turnover. Crucial area. Henry. Hall. Overlap run. Garcia tucks it under the arm. Needs to finish to give the Saints a chance, but he misses.
Oh, sigh of relief for Brendan Cox. Just a lazy kick when they had everything under control, but they can't make the most of it, the Saints, unfortunately.
Do you feel that's the way that they're not off the back of an errant kick, but the pressure? They're going to have to be in their face, try and turn the ball over in their forward half if they're going to be any chance of winning this game.
They're just putting so much effort over 3.5 quarters. You wonder if the run is there, the effort is still there to be given.
Kick the first of this turn to hit the front of the Saints. It's been tough going since then. They get an opportunity here through Marshall.
Yep, big kick right now.
4 goals in it. 5 minutes remain. Just want to start to put some scoreboard pressure on. Marshall from the 50 hooks it away. Looking for Sharman to launch at the spill. Filippo, Bradley Hill. Too much on the handball. And the Dockers get it out of defence again. Long kick from Brayshaw. Mason Cox couldn't hang on to it. Rookie there with Voss hunting after him. Gave him a bit on the way through.
He actually did really well, Voss. To not allow some Kilda to mop up possession and rebound it to trap Wilkie over the ball was a very good result.
Oh, he's got plenty to say. This one goes back through Brayshaw. Some Caleb's along out there tonight. They fight it to Bolton. Taking a hanger at one end. What can he create at the other? Short kick. Dudley wants to get it back to Bolton. Just amplifying the degree of difficulty. And why wouldn't you? Sensational stuff from Shea. They can do it all.
Yes, he can. We saw it moments ago in the mark. Deep in defence. This one, you just knew when he got the ball back from Dudley, whether there was a player in front of him or not that was in a better spot. You felt like Shea was just going for goals. He had every right because the option wasn't there, but you just felt like he was going to kick it, Jace.
It didn't matter who was where. He was going for that. They have got some serious weapons, the Dockers. So he misses the little chip kick. That's okay. He gets it back. A lot tougher. Across the body, from the boundary. Look at that. And that deserves a celebration. Why not?
And an arm wrestle for most of the evening. The Dockers, as they have done in many games this season, just put the foot down and extend the margin out. It's now 30. Jaconi. Ball bursting out of the centre. Clear space ahead. The delivery made it tough for Mason Wood, but there was a push and a free.
Yeah, I don't mind that decision. I mean, that was the sole intention of McDonald then, was to bump, pretending he was flying for the ball when he actually wasn't, just to take Mason Wood off his run to the ball.
I suppose it goes to show highlight the importance of still going at the footy as well, Jace.
Off 2 on the night. Mason Wood as he leans back and hits the stick.
Any hope they had has just disappeared. A couple of kicks in the last 1 minute that could have got a little bit of scoreboard momentum, and they haven't been able to take advantage of it, the Saints. They've tried hard, but they just come up short. When they needed goals to be kicked, they weren't able to convert. More time goes off the clock. You can see Luke Ryan desperate for his teammate to run the other way, because all he was doing was drawing a player in towards him.
Warner awkwardly off the left boot. Jackson in the air. Wagner's there. Jackson. Murphy Reid over the head, if you don't mind, with the flair to release Frederick. Couple of bounces. I want it in deep. Voss calls for it and willingly accepts. They can go when they need to, the Dockers. They've got leg speed. They've got classy players, skilled players. I mean, the vision of the hand pass from Murphy Reid was ridiculous. But it was perfectly weighted. And Frederick hit the ground running with it. And then he just had to work out what was the best option. There's the hand pass. You call it speculative, but it was perfect. Myron Frederick just had to work his way through it.
He knew exactly where he was going, didn't he?
Murphy Reid again with the spectacular. Makes it look easy. It's been an enthralling battle between Voss and Wilkie. And Voss thumps through yet another.
Yes, he's been good, Voss, today. He's played his part defensively, but what I've also loved about him is his offensive game and the way that he stayed involved. When you're on dangerous players ahead of the football, often they will take you to the football, but it doesn't mean you're destined to, as we see the Murphy Reid handball, another score involvement.
So Wilkie's had the 21 possessions, but he's only had 1 intercept mark. Voss has kicked 3 goals from his 11 possessions. So all of a sudden, that's a big win for the Dockers. And what are some of the key intercepting defenders thinking right now as they look about a matchup coming with the Dockers, Tommy, knowing that Voss might come to them? He's making them think now, isn't he?
Another free out of the middle. Reid will take the advantage out to Bolton, who steadies up from inside 50. They're rolling over them now. He's out to the right. And out of the ruck. Marshall with injury concern. Make the night a whole lot worse for the Saints.
Keep an eye on how he lands here.
Play on! You!
Still trying to get off the ground.
Stand! Play on!
Is it the knee on knee or the landing?
Hard to tell. Hard to tell.
Inside 50, Sharman. Goes again. Opportunity here, O'Connell. Get the post, so we're throwing. But there's the story for the Saints late in this one. Rowan Marshall hobbling from the ground. Already have a lengthy injury list. The Saints. Higgins, Owens, Wanganeen, Miller. Ryan. A setback from Max King in recent weeks. Here's DeConing. Free kick to Bradley Hill.
Well, he ended up on the ground. Not quite sure how he got there, but he'll get the free kick. Unfortunately, it's all too little too late.
Jumper tonight. Hardy designing tells the story of his journey. 5 years at the Hawks, 3 at Freo, 7th at the Saints. And he gets a late one here.
Yeah, well deserved one for Brad Hill late. You can never question his work rate. He has been up and down the ground. Kicks his first goal for the night. He's had the 18 disposals.
Oh, that is soft. It's a push in the side from Jordan Clark. And he just lost his balance.
We've seen a few questionable ones tonight.
Good if he can get them. Can't begrudge the Saints, everyone, because I think the Dockers have had 1 or 2 gimmies tonight as well.
They have. Murphy Reid up to 28 disposals.
Boys, just watching Rowan Marshall down here on the bench. They're doing ACL test and knee test and that right knee, so not good signs right at the end of this game.
Oh, jarred it when he landed.
Saints fans holding their breath. An injury to Marshall. Reed, disposal 29. Had a career high 30 last week. Been so impactful again tonight. It's a second-year player. Wilkie with a spoil away from Voss. Flanders and Hunt from Switkowski. And bringing down Voss, just trying to barrel his way through a couple of tacklers. Spills away. Murphy Reed again. He didn't blaze. He saw out of the corner of his eye. Because he has vision that other players just don't.
What about how nonchalantly he gathered the loose ball? Just grabbed it with one hand like he was picking an apple off a tree.
Handshakes all around for Justin Longmuir and the Wally Luck coaching staff. And Driscoll will take his time. Watch the time clock tick down to complete the victory. The margin we'll wait to see as the siren will sound on the kick from O'Driscoll. He launches one long. A point the result. A 30-point victory. 31-point victory. These Dockers are building something, a new club record. Their best ever winning run. A perfect 10.
Checking to see the margin. Doesn't
Review
score,
complete.
does not.
Looking at this angle, we can see the ball does not cross the behind line. Decision on the scoreboard.
After all of that, rather deflating way to finish the game, the margins can be critical. No score it is. Was right the first time. A 30-point margin in the end for Wally Luck as they create history. 10 wins in a row for the very first time.
It's a powerful team, the Dockers. They are strong in all parts of the ground, all facets of the game. One or two players still come back. There's a lot to like about what they're building. And to say that they're still building when you won 10 in a row is saying something. But they are going to be one of the teams to beat. And coming over here is, I mean, if you can come away with points, travelling to up the stadium to take on the Dockers, you've done something pretty special, I suspect.
The Saints would be really happy with their first half. They were right in it and then got beat by what they know. They know that Freo's a really good intercept team. They started to get on top around the footy. They started to dominate possession and then timing forward half. But for mine, it was all off the back of pressure. They're the number one pressure-rated side in the competition and they absolutely brought that. They hunted in packs, didn't give the Saints time and space, took away completely their mark game. So they were forced into this live handball game, which they handled okay for periods of time, but weren't able to for the whole second half. But yeah, they were powerful. 9 goals in the second half, 6 of those coming in the last quarter. So yeah, they can play in all phases, this Freo Footy Club.
It's a squad that's a lot more developed. They just have more class, more weapons, and they stood up when they needed them.
Let's get down to Will Schofield.
Down here with Shay. Whose jump you got down here, Shay?
No, just swap with Brad. Obviously he's a big leader in the Indigenous community, and we just wanted to swap jerseys, and now I've got this in my house now, so it'll be good.
Mate, it's a big round for you boys, and you said Duck Nichols round. Can you talk to us a bit about that? What it means to you and your family and your culture?
Oh, mate, I love playing in these games. Have all my family watching. We've got dads. This club here also has the most Indigenous people that played as well. So it's super important to me, my family watching, and I'm just proud to play in these games. And we get to design jumpers as well from Bradley Hill and stuff. So yeah, I love playing in these games.
Well, it looks like it, mate. I've brought the monitor over because I wanted you to just talk through a couple of moments in that last quarter. You're in the back line taking hangers. Talk us through this, Mark. Have a look at this, mate. What do you reckon about this one?
Oh, mate, I've seen it coming, to be honest. This is probably the first time I'm sitting in the back line, to be honest. But I just seen it there and tried to time it as well, and I obviously got the mark there. So, yeah, it's good.
All good forwards will say don't do too well in the back line because you end up playing there for too long, mate. So you very quickly got your way out of the back line, made your way up the other end. How about this one, mate?
Oh, mate. I was looking for duds first, and then he just popped it over, and then I don't know, I kind of just played a little bit on instinct, and as soon as it went in, I just celebrated.
What's the dance, mate? We're going to have a little look at the dance here. You knew that was going in, didn't you?
Yeah, I just want to do a little bit of flair, do the yummy, but yeah, just something little for, my son also watching as well, so just wanted to do them proud, and hopefully I did that tonight.
Mate, you love them playing for Freo. Winning's always great, but it looks like you've got a really great culture within the footy club.
Yeah, we do. We've got all young boys, and we've got some mature boys, and we've got some boys that have been at different clubs as well, and I think we're just all gelling and showing on the field as well.
What about some of your younger players, mate? Murphy Reid, second-year player. How does he stack up with some of the guys you've played with?
Oh, mate, he's a superstar. It's only his second year, and he's killing it, mate. And to be honest, when I first started, I was nowhere near that. So for him to just come into this team and play the way he plays, oh, mate, it's exciting.
Mate, I'll let you go and celebrate with your teammates. Well done today. Great mark, great goal.
Thank you.
That was great from Shea Bolton, just to get the chance to hear him talk through a couple of his highlights at the end there. That mark, incredible at the end, and paying a little bit of tribute to Murphy Reid as well. I mean, the game that he put together today was, again, incredible. 30 disposals, and the way he was able to set things up for Fremantle. We get back down to Will Schofield.
Yeah, I'm here with Patrick Voss. I'll call you Sir Patrick. Mr. Voss, what would you like? I was calling you Passive Paddy a few weeks ago. You've got your energy.
Passive Paddy anymore, I don't think.
Well, you've got your energy back, don't you?
Yeah, I do. It's so awesome to be able to play in front of a crowd like this, and in a team like this. It's hard not to have energy when you're playing with a group like this.
It looks like you've been set a role tonight on Cal Wilkie. Talk us through that matchup, mate.
Yeah, obviously Cal, one of the best intercept defenders in the game, similar to Sis the other week, and I love doing the role. It really narrows my focus and gives me a very simple task. I think I was able to nullify his intercept game tonight. Whatever I can do to help the team.
So this stuff that's happening off the ball, do you enjoy that? Is there anything being said? Are you having a chat? What's happening back there?
Oh, there's a little bit being said, no doubt. I actually know Jack Silvani pretty well, so he was getting stuck into me a fair bit. But yeah, all in the spirit of the game, never overstep the line, so it was good fun.
And you kicked 3 goals tonight, mate. You kicked 5 last week. It must be nice to see the scoreboard.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, if I can play my role in this team, such a privilege to play in a round like this and acknowledge our Indigenous community, not just our players, but we've got some great staff members around the club, which we love so much. So great to be able to recognise them, and what a turnout from the Purple Army.
Yeah, it was the highest crowd between both these sides ever. Talk to us about the footy club and what you do around Indigenous rounds like this. You've got Shea Bolton and Isaiah Dudley and some of these great players in the past as well. It means a lot to Freo, doesn't it?
Mate, we've got such a rich history, and to be able to learn about our Indigenous brothers, both that are with us at the moment and that have gone before us. We had Stephen Hill's cousin design the jumper, which is absolutely unbelievable, come up unbelievable, and I think we're undefeated as volley-up. So, we love fighting these jumpers and learned about the history of the club and the Indigenous people that have gone before us.
Good on you, mate. Good to see you going well.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Patrick Voss, they're full of energy. Yes, when they've changed their name to Wally since they've done that in 2023, 7 wins and 1 draw, undefeated under that name. And this is the club's win streak this season. This is the longest win streak in the club's history, starting back in round 2 against Melbourne. What do you feel, Jason, Tom, that they're building this season under Justin Longmuir?
Oh, the sky's the limit. They're in a great position now where they can manage the squad and work out exactly how they get the best out of them in the second half of the season. But it's going to take an effort to beat this team. They seem to be able to put the foot down when they're challenged, and they did that again tonight when St Kilda had a great first half. There was just a kick in it. Even at three-quarter time, there was a kick in it. And, I mean, you get that man to come back, Caleb Sarong, who's one of their stars. They've just got so many players ready to step up and play their role. Great depth in the squad, and all the peripheral players are playing some of their best footy, which just makes them an incredibly dangerous team.
Yeah, I just like the way that structurally their game plan is set around pressure and defend. So a lot of this year is we talk about in different footy circles about how well teams are attacking in the forward handball game and what sort of score you can put on the board and the pace you can play with. But fundamentally, their football comes off the back of defending well, and they don't even have their captain, who is an inspirational leader inside their four walls. So they've got the tools in their midfield and up in their forward line to kick a big score. So they're still ranking the top 6 attacks in the competition. And I feel like that part of their game's only going to get better. We see Dudley play more time with Bolton down there. The 3 key forwards, Voss we touched on. You talk about Murphy Reid, and we've sung his praises throughout the night, but he's had 13 possessions and 7 score involvements, playing 50% midfield time in the last quarter. So he was huge. They've just got weapons all over the ground.
Finished with 30 overall, and Loyal up into the circle has set a new benchmark for their club and will continue to roll on with the wins, 10 in a row, defeating the Saints by 30.
Send them to the bottom. Then get up, do it again. Talking something, nothing. Radio, everyone's in there below. Radio, here we go. We are free of darkness. Radio, everyone's in there below. Radio, here we go. We are free of darkness.
All right, there we go. It was the Dockers song at the end there. And, of course, the Dockers too strong tonight. I tell you what, 16-8. My gosh, they kicked accurate. 104. Saints 11-8, 74, 30 points was the margin. I tell you what, didn't they put the pedal to the metal in that final term? Well, they did fantastic, did Freo. A happy bunch down there, running out 30 points where it was a tight tussle the opening 3 quarters. But the class of Freo certainly stood strong in this final term. Tell you what, they did really good. And yeah, they didn't even have their mid-gun Sarong or their leading backman, Captain Alex Pearce. I tell you what, yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting coming up for the second half of the season for Freo. I tell you what, they're looking good. St Kilda, look, they gave it a big bit of a shot there today. I think they've got a few things to work on. I think they were just left a little bit flat-footed. But I tell you what, that being said, I just had a look at their 10 wins in a row, folks. And Freo, well, they really haven't beaten anyone, any of the top sides at the moment. They haven't beaten any of the top sides at the moment. So next week will be a good challenge for Freo, of course. Next week, Freo will travel up to the Gabba. They'll play the Brisbane Lions. Fremantle will take on the Brisbane Lions next Saturday afternoon, so that should be a fantastic game. They're probably going to come into a few games that are going to challenge Freo. As I said, they haven't really played too stronger teams. They did play Hawthorn and beat Hawthorn. There we go. Of course, next week, St Kilda. They're playing at Marvel Stadium against Hawthorn. That's exactly right. Of course, Freo have the round after Brisbane. Freo have got to take on North Melbourne. And let's have a look at their next games. Then they've got the bye. There we go. All right, before we wrap this one up, hey, Taddy Heed doing Aiden good stuff. Another Freo supporter in the house. We'll have a quick look at the stats and the ladder before we wrap this one up. Xiaomi ended up top on the table out there for the Dockers. He ended up with 4 straight goals. Paddy Voss, 3 straight goals. I tell you what, the boys were kicking straight and accurate today. Josh Tracy ended up with 2 goals too. Isaiah Dudley, well, he came alight a little bit, didn't he, in that final term. He kicked a couple. Sikorsky, Murphy Reid. Murphy Reid's a star, my gosh. 2nd year of AFL football. Wow-wee, Murphy Reid. Tell you what, he's a ring-a-ding-ding player. Frederick got one. Aramis got one. Shy Bolton from the boundary. And he had a celebration. Well done. Aiden, if you're still there, this is one player, Shy Bolton, who used to be all about look at me, look at me, look at me. He was one of those players, and of course your coach he certainly got that out of him, and now he's playing a team role, and the team, he's playing a lot better football, more impactful, and the team's going better because of the way he goes about his football as well. For the Saints, Mason Wood, Paloppo, Bradley Hill, Liam Henry, all with 2 goals for the Saints. Darcy William with a single. Only 4 goal scorers there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goal scorers there for the Saints. Disposal getters out on the ground. There we go. Murphy Reid, the only player in the 30s, and that was for Fremantle Dockers. There we go. 30 touches for Murphy Reid. 15 and 15 he had. That's right. 15 kicks, 15 handballs, 3 clearances, 1 goal, 1. I tell you what, he is a star. Second year in the system. Nathan O'Driscoll, 27. Carl Warner, 25. That's for the Dockers. Best for the Saints was Jack Sinclair on 29 touches. 21 kicks, 8 handballs, 6 marks, a tackle and a clearance for him. Maxie Hall, Sam Flanders on 25. We'll just quickly roll down these. Andy Brayshaw, Shy Bolton ended up with 25 apiece. Well done. Luke Ryan, 24. Luke Jackson, there we go. That was just a mild game from him, and he had 22 touches. Kick to behind, 21 hit-outs, 7 clearances. Callum Wilkie, 21 for the Saints. Darcy Wilson, 19. Josh Tracy ended up with 19 touches, 12 kicks, 11 marks, 7 handballs, 2 goals too, so not too bad. Bradley Hill always tries his heart out for the Saints. 19 touches, 11 kicks, 8 handballs, a couple of goals there for him. Well done. Jack Silvani, 16 touches. As we just roll on down, we might have a quick look at the, there we go. The Prancing Pony ended up with 11 touches, 7 kicks, ended up kicking 3 straight goals. It was a great battle between him and his opponent, of course, Isaiah Dudley. Caused a little bit of havoc in that final term. He ended up with a couple of goals, teaming up well with Shy Bolton to kick a nice goal there. Just have a quick look at the team stats. There we go. Ended up being plus 43 stats. The inside 50, 61. They got right on top, did Freo. 61 to 45, plus 16 there. And of course, the what was the scoring shots? 24 to 19. 24 to 19. As this always loads. I don't know why this loads. Free kicks. Well, the umpires, I tell you what, there was a couple of decisions there that were really iffy out there today. But I think both teams got one of those decisions anyway. 14 to 13, good to see umpires putting the whistle away for most of the game. The centre clearances, the Dockers ended up winning the centre clearances 16 to 12. They were plus 4 there, but Saints much better around the ground, plus 9, plus 11 in the stoppage clearances. There we go. Just looking at the contested, my gosh, why does this keep loading? 148, 131. Dockers, a bit better in the contested. They were plus 17. Let me just roll on down here. Marks inside 50. Both teams ended up with reasonably good numbers there. 13 to 10 marks inside forward 50. Freo, 3 better and 11 marks overall. Just want to have a look at the tackle count. Remember, we saw this, folks. This was a big part of Freo's game in the second half. Remember, we saw this. I think it was 19. Come on, load up, load up, load up. There we go. I think Freo's was 19 at halftime. They ended up with 54 right up alongside St Kilda. So what's that? 35. 19 in the opening half. 35 tackles in the second half. So a lot better. And, of course, going above season average there of 12 tackles inside 50. 9.4 is the average, so really well done. St Kilda lacked putting pressure on in that aspect of the game. Let's have a look for all you Freo fans out there. This is the ladder. This is the updated ladder. As we're into round 11, Freo go on top of the ladder. That's right, Fremantle after winning 10 in a row. Wow, just that one loss. They go on top. 40 points. They're a game clear now of the Sydney Swans. And, of course, 2.5 games clear of Hawthorn. There we go. 3 games clear of the Cats, Gold Coast and Melbourne. Of course, Sydney do have to play, I think it's tomorrow. As I said, they do play Geelong down at GMHBA Stadium. It's going to be a struggle, I think. Well, I don't know. I tell you what, I think Geelong might win that and Freo might end up on top of the ladder. Of course, for St Kilda, there we go, back down into 9th spot, into dangerous territory, because you would expect probably Collingwood to win, which will take them to 22 points. They play West Coast Eagles. Not sure about North Melbourne. They get a tough game, so have the Giants. So There we go. So St Kilda might still be in the top 10 after round 11. But there is your live ladder. Of course, they were pretty clever in the live chat today. The Freo fans, 87% went for Fremantle Dockers to win. Well done, everybody. Hey, don't forget, coming up tomorrow, folks, if you want to be part of AFL history, we're tuning on in at 4:30 tomorrow. Collingwood taking on West Coast. That's the game we're doing. It's history in the making, where Scotty Pendlebury will break the all-time games record, game 433. It's taking place at the MCG, 4:30 tomorrow Melbourne time, against the West Coast Eagles. We're hoping for a fairy tale end with Scotty getting 40 touches, kicking 3 goals. It should be a ring-a-ding game for all the Magpie supporters out there. It's been a big week for him as well. But I tell you what, it was a big week, big day for the Freo fans out there today. Well done, Freo. You got the job done. You're sitting on top of the ladder where you deserve. It's going to be really interesting, really interesting. Well, second half of the season for Freo, they're looking good. As I said, especially with their 2 guns out today, your midfielder and your captain. So there we go. I'm just, the names have just gone amiss at the moment, but there we go. All right, folks, hey, that's all I've got for this one. Thanks for tuning on in. Appreciate it as always. If you want to tune on into the next AFL game, 4:30 tomorrow, Collingwood taking on West Coast MCG. Be a full stadium, 90+ thousand we're expecting. It should be a cracking game. It should be a beautiful day. The weather's supposed to be nice and sunny, so hopefully we'll see you then. All right, folks, that's all I've got for this one. As I said, thanks again. Thanks, Teddy. Thanks, Aidan. Paul was in the chat, and of course, Eddie G was there. Well done, Al. Happy Freo supporters today. Commiserations, St Kilda. Well done, Freo. Till next time, folks, that's me. Ciao for now, and we'll see you at the next game.